Sagittarius, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your November shift reading. So we're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. Sagittarius, before we get into your cards, the image that came to me for you actually came in a dream this month. The dream came, I can't remember if it was the night of the Libra new moon or the night after, because it's been a few days and I've been sitting with the image to really try and understand it. Because as the image first came through, it was, I saw this like very cartoon character, very energetic, almost like a 40s cartoon, you know, like with a very sort of vaudeville feel to it. And I saw it pop out its own, and it was you, Sagittarius. It like very specifically introduced itself to me as Sagittarius, which was interesting. And then it popped its own eye out, and it clearly there was an audience before it, and it was like showing the eye to the audience as if it was about to do a magic trick. And then it popped the eye in its mouth and swallowed it. The eye came back up into the socket and it did it again. And it was like this like trick that it was doing over and over and over. And I was like, okay, wow, if this is supposed to be the image for Sagittarius, how am I supposed to interpret that? So I've sat with it over the last few days, and there was a title that began to reveal itself for this whole image, and it's The Magician's Apprentice, which evokes for me images of the Sorcerer's Apprentice. And when I think of that, I get the Disney images, which actually goes along with the cartoon vibe that I was feeling of Mickey Mouse as the Sorcerer's Apprentice in Fantasia. And the whole story of that is that he's this magician's apprentice, but he's the student. And while the magician is sleeping, he goes up and tries his hand at the magic that he's been observing from the magician. And so Sag, I think this month you are the magician's apprentice trying your hand at what you have been learning. And there's something interesting about this whole metaphoric image of popping your eye out and showing it to the audience and then consuming it. It's showing me a cycle of actually, you know, the eye talks to me about observation and learning, and it's like you're showing other people what you have been reading or learning, and then like consuming it again, consuming more information to show more people, and consuming more, you know, it's this like incredible cycle of you like voraciously digesting information and material in order to show others. And there's clearly this strong presence of an audience, because it was like, after you did that, after you showed people what you have been consuming or what you have been seeing, it's like there's this round of applause, and then you do it again. You know, it's like you just keep doing it. You just keep learning more and sharing more. And it's quite a bit of magic, and it's really beautiful. But again, because it's this magician's apprentice, there's a little bit of a question lingering in the air of like, should I, as the learner, as the apprentice, so to speak, should I be trying my hand at this magic if I'm just the apprentice or just the learner? There's questions around like, am I qualified? Should I be doing this? This is fascinating. And I also love that it's the magician's apprentice, because it's just, you know, the magician is the archetype in the tarot rather than the sorcerer's apprentice. It just feels apt. So I'm going to now share your shapeshift with you. I've pre-pulled the cards for your shift from the El Goliath Tarot. You know, Scorpio season is carrying with it a lot of energy. And so pre-pulling has helped me just really sit and gestate with what needs to come through for each sign. So Sagittarius, here's your shapeshift. You are shifting from the Hierophant, which in this deck is the Master of Keys, into the Seven of Pentacles, which is the rewarded frog. And to me, this is such a beautiful story of the image of this magician's apprentice, because here you are, you know, the Hierophant can talk about higher learning and being part of these institutions of learning and the passing down of knowledge and a channel to higher knowledge, you know, like bringing higher knowledge into embodiment. I also really love that in this particular Hierophant, there's all these eyeballs, because that's what came through in the image, is like popping out this eyeball, showing it to the audience and popping it in your mouth, to repeat the trick over and over and over, so to speak. It's interesting, when I just said repeat the trick, I got a tinge of like worry that, is what I'm doing just a trick? Or is it magic? And I think maybe Sag, if this is resonating with you and that is a worry of yours, I don't know. I see a whole lot of actual magic on this spread. So I think this shapeshift is trying to help ease your mind in that regard, and to really show you that you are developing into a master in this way, and you are taking your knowledge. And, you know, the Hierophant is like the Pope archetype. And so it's almost like you're taking your knowledge and you're using your platform, your pulpit, so to speak, to share it with others, to share your knowledge of maybe esoteric topics, just because it's like this image of like the higher realm coming through, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, I could be really talking to a teacher, you know, but you're sharing the things that you are learning with other people, and you're being rewarded for that. This beautiful Seven of Pentacles conveys to me that perhaps this has been a long journey of learning. I'm actually getting a different message. I'm getting that the Seven of Pentacles does require a little bit of patience. So maybe here's where a little bit of that like apprentice versus master medicine comes in, is that like this reading is assuring you that you are indeed mastering these topics and these skills, whatever it is that you're sharing with others, and also have patience for the continued development, because the Seven of Pentacles can be wait until the time is ripe. Now, Sag, I think the time is ripe, because this is the rewarded frog. You are being rewarded here in November for sharing your knowledge, and for sharing your knowledge with confidence. Because actually, I just looked at these vultures and got the image of this actually being one vulture sort of like looking over its shoulder like this, you know, like see how it's sort of like checking. Am I going to get in trouble? That's the sensation. Am I going to get in trouble? So interesting, Sag. And it's like, no, share your knowledge confidently. And it looks like the knowledge comes from a broad array of topics, just because we're seeing lots of different religions and symbols shown here as the various keys. It's like, share all of your knowledge, go ahead, and also recognize that you will be rewarded for having patience in that process, for having patience for your own development. You know, like I get this image of the frog waiting by the Venus flytraps. Very opportunistic, by the way. Like this frog knows where to wait for its meal. So that shows some seriously savvy energy, Sagittarius. And it's willing to wait for the flies to come and to be drawn to where they are. So there is something in this image about drawing the audience to you, drawing the right people to you. Okay, here's what your shapeshift looks like. And this is why I say the time is ripe, in a sense. Ace of Wands, I mean, hello. There's the magician getting their wand. The Star card, which says the cosmic guide. And the Wheel of Fortune, the Great Wheel. I mean, look at these two cyclical images. You know, something is really about to change for you, Sag, and I think you're going to start reaping, if you have been waiting and waiting and waiting to reap the rewards of all the knowledge you've learned and all the learning and study that you have done, and the ways that you know, maybe you've been sharing your knowledge and you've been trying to hone a craft or attain a level of accomplishment or mastery in what you've been learning. It seems like there's something really breaking through. That's going to bring a great change in fortune for you. And I think, you know, the fact that we've got, if we look at it linearly, we've got this breakthrough of the star, you know, it's like you have been guided this entire time. And I just saw 1111. And also you are the guide. Interesting. Like if you are the Hierophant, or maybe you've been learning from a higher source, it's like the shift is now, it's almost like you get your wand. Maybe that's what this whole thing is about. November, it's like, okay, the magician here says, you are ready. You are ready. Here is your wand. It's time for you, Sagittarius, to do your magic. You know, Ace of Wands is like the spark of creation and inspiration that can make magic in the world. It's fire energy, Sag, which is you, you know, it's like the catalyst to take action out in the world and to actually make things happen. It's the motivation, it's the drive, it's feeling lit up and passionate for your subjects. It's like that's everything that this image of a wand channels. I love that this wand is actually blooming. It's like you're blooming, you're ready, you are ready. Everything in this reading says you're ready. And then it's like once you receive your wand, so to speak, and you feel like almost like you have the authority. There's a real question of authority here. It's like once you own this wand and you grasp it fully, you have the authority to break through some sort of cycles, to recognize that you are both guided and the guide here. And I mean, it just brings great change. You know, the Wheel of Fortune is a change in fortune, a change in the weather, so to speak. And I think that for you, Sagittarius, leads to actually reaping a reward that you have been waiting for. Ooh, Sag, this is an exciting energy for the month of November for Scorpio season. I'm very excited now to dive into this deeper. We're going to take this into an extended reading, use some other cards and pull to get a more specific message. So if you'd like to join me for that, stick around for a moment. I have some news to share with you about Unseen Hands healing and how I'm expanding. And so stick around. I'll explain a little bit about that and explain how you can access your extended reading for Scorpio season. All right, Sag, thanks for joining me. I am so excited to announce that Unseen Hands is expanding. My dear friends and fellow healing artists, Kevin and Kelsey, are joining me to form Unseen Hands, a healing arts collective. We want to deepen your monthly shift experience by adding in astrology and a creative guidebook to help you work through your monthly shift process and inspire you with different perspectives and different kinds of artistic viewpoints on these monthly shifts. So to view your extended shift reading, you can head over to unseenhandscollective.com, where we are offering you an opportunity to explore our new offerings. So head on over there and we will dive deeper into your shift together.